Prepare yourselves, dear viewers, for you see, we're about to leave this claustrophobic, dingy little room of mine, and we're about to venture into the outside world. So, 3, 2, 1, here comes the wet pan.
Let's get the introductions out of the way. There's me. There's Liz. And then there's Amy. Hello. However, there's not much else to do after that because we have to get running because we're a little bit late to go and see the film, so we have to go start running now. Cue the exciting music. I hope you're not wearing your Final Destination 4 shoes.
No, I'm not this time. I came prepared.
Hallelujah. And here we are.
The film was absolutely fucking epic. Just seriously, it's one of those films that just makes you realise that this is what cinema was invented for. This is what it was made for. This is the type of film that you have to go and see at the cinema just to have that experience of having seen it. Like, this film that I've seen in the cinema that have made me feel that way before. Like, I've been like Dark Knight and Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams one, the Lord of the Rings films, all them that I saw at the cinema, they all made me think of how this is how cinema and film should be experienced in this format on the big screen with the big speakers booming the sound effects right into the very heart of you and making you feel as if you're shaken to the core. You know? That's how I came out of the film. I gave it 10 out of 10 stars in its IMDb page, mainly because of just how well everything was done about the film. The acting, directing, editing, the bloody booming, magnificent sound effects job. The music by Alexandre Desplat, or Desplat, however you say his name, which was just absolutely brilliant, and You would have thought that John Williams would have been the more suitable choice to come and finish off the series, because he began it, and it would have made sense to bring him back to finish it. But no. All doubts aside, because Alexander Desplat, however you say his name, did the perfect job of getting all the music that should have been there, Hedwig's theme brought in at the right time and all of that, he just finished the job perfectly, and would have made John Williams proud, I reckon. And other than all the technical aspects of the film, story itself, you would have to have known all the previous films and the books and whatever to know what was going on in this last film. But aside from that, seeing as me, Amy and Liz already knew what had happened beforehand because we've all been Potter fans from the beginning, as far as I know, the film as it stands on its own in the franchise is the best of the series, really. I mean, every film in the series has its merits, but still, this one is the final one, and it's the thing where all the pieces come together and everything from the past comes into this present thing, and things that we didn't know beforehand get revealed, and so on and so forth. It's a big, rollicking thrill ride of a fantastic, brilliant, epic film. The shortest of the whole series, which did kind of leave the slight little niggle that they could have added a little bit more, especially at the end, when it's the 19 years later thing, the epilogue to the story. I wanted a little bit more time added to that, just to know what was happening in the future with more of the characters, like with Neville and Luna and all that. That's what Amy pointed out to us as we were leaving the theatre. But yes, other than that tiny little niggle, the film was just perfect by itself. And we did have a bit of a problem sometime midway through the film, I think, whenever a bunch of little plonkers fucking came in and yelled out, "Lord of the Rings!" and then ran out giggling, the fuckers. But other than that, that was all fine. The bit whenever the whole thing with Snape was revealed, and how he looks in through the pensive, using Snape's tears where he brought out all his memories so Harry could find out the real truth behind everything that had been going on for the past 7 years. When that happened, Amy and Liz were bawling their eyes out, and Amy did this again because she's seen this before. But they were bawling their eyes out, but they bravely refused my offer of a Kleenex so they could dry their eyes, mate. That's the only time I'm ever going to use that song as a quote ever. Anyway. But aside from the really sad moments, and the sad ending, well, not sad ending, but uplifting ending that still made you cry, I didn't cry because I'm an emotionless robot. Aside from that, there were also the really great, big, awesome moments. Like with Neville, he's my fucking man, he is. If he existed, he'd be my man. And I want that fucking cardigan one day, I reckon. And Professor McGonagall, who knew she'd be such a badass? The Alvin where she goes, yes, boom, she wants everything to blow up and then cast a spell on the statues to make them come alive, and she says, I always wanted to cast that spell. That was just amazing. The bit where Julie Walters goes up to Bellatrix Lestrange and says, not my daughter, you bitch. That's one of the best lines just ever written, period. And Julie Walters said that is her favourite line she's ever said in a film ever, apparently. So, it's just all so brilliant. Those little moments that the minor characters have, they're the moments that stay with you, as well as the big moments with the main characters. If it wasn't for those little moments with the little characters, the series and the franchise and this film would be nothing. At all. But, there we are. I would thoroughly recommend the film. Sorry to the Potterphobes out there who I've offended by wearing this scarf and even talking about the film at all. But it's done now, and now we can get on back to the rest of this video. So, let's continue, shall we? Yes, go on.